Hey everyone! So today I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable with myself since I'm going to be speaking on camera. This is something that I'm not usually used to doing, so bear with me if I feel a little awkward here. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about speaking up in the workplace, especially if you're a woman in tech, and adding on top of that, if you're a woman that's new to tech in the workplace, it can seem very daunting and almost impossible at the thought of speaking up. This could be in a team meeting, during a one on one, in a group chat. The pressure to prove yourself often makes your voice feel smaller than it actually is. Because of this, it makes it really easy to second guess or hold back your ideas for fear of saying the wrong thing, and you might worry that you're going to be dismissed, talked over, or viewed as less knowledgeable. At the same time, you know that staying silent is not going to help with your growth and it keeps you invisible. So you can create this tension where you want to contribute, but you're playing it safe because you have a fear of reaction. And then in doing so, you're going to create this cycle where you're always playing it safe, even though you have valuable insight to contribute. So what's important to remember is that your perspective matters, even if it feels different from others in the room. Fresh eyes can see gaps that experienced individuals can't and often overlook.
Why it's hard for women in tech to speak up. In the room. When you're the only woman in a meeting, the weight of representation can feel heavy, like your words will be judged not just as you, but as all women in tech. Fear of being labeled. Many women worry about being seen as too aggressive if they speak with confidence, or not assertive enough if they hold back. That double standard can be paralyzing. Impostor syndrome. Even when you know your stuff, it's easy to feel like you don't belong, especially if others in the room have more years under their belt. That self-doubt can keep you silent. Cultural and social conditioning. Many of us were raised to be polite and not interrupt, which can clash with workplace dynamics that reward whoever jumps in first. Past experiences of being overlooked. If you've spoken up before and your ideas were ignored, or later repeated by someone else and credited to them, it's natural to hesitate the next time. Moving past these obstacles. Reframe being the only one. Instead of seeing it as a burden, try to see it as an opportunity. Your perspective is needed in that room. If your voice is missing, the conversation isn't complete. Detach from labels. You can't control how others choose to perceive you, but you can control how you show up. Focus on being clear, respectful, and confident. With time, consistency speaks louder than stereotypes. Combat imposter syndrome with preparation. Walk into meetings with a note or two of what you want to contribute. Even one thoughtful comment can help you build momentum and confidence. Address being overlooked directly. If your idea gets repeated and recognized later, you can politely add, "Thanks for building on my earlier point. I'd like to expand on that." It reclaims ownership without confrontation. Practice speaking up in smaller ways. You don't have to start by leading a presentation. Share your thoughts in team chats, ask a question in a meeting, or speak up during a one-on-one with your manager. The more you practice in low-stakes settings, the easier it becomes in high-stakes ones. Find allies. Build relationships with peers and mentors who will back you up, amplify your ideas, and encourage your voice when you speak. Having even one ally in the room can shift the dynamic. Be structured, speak from a logical standpoint, and remove emotion from the situation. Start small. If jumping into a big meeting feels intimidating, try speaking up in lower pressure spaces first, like replying in a group chat or asking a clarifying question in a one-on-one. Building momentum in smaller moments makes the bigger ones easier. Prepare a point ahead of time. Going into a meeting with one thought or question you want to share takes the pressure off winging it. Even a simple, "I noticed," or "I'd love to hear thoughts on," shows you're engaged. Use questions as your superpower. You don't always have to deliver groundbreaking insights. Asking thoughtful questions shows curiosity, builds credibility, and often sparks conversations others were afraid to start. Leverage allies. If you have a mentor, manager, or supportive teammate, let them know you're trying to practice speaking up. They can help amplify your points and make sure your voice is heard. Reframe the fear. Instead of seeing it as proving yourself, shift your mindset to sharing value. You're not interrupting, you're contributing. That shift can take away some of the pressure.
Remember, your voice has value, and the conversation is stronger when you're contributing to it. So start where you are, take one step at a time, and know that every time you speak, you make a space for others to speak as well. Finding your voice in tech isn't always easy, especially when you're just starting out, navigating stereotypes, or carrying the weight of being the only woman in the room. But silence doesn't serve you, and it doesn't serve the industry either. Each time you speak up, you're chipping away at the barriers that keep diverse voices quiet. Remember, speaking up isn't always about being perfect, it's about being present. It's about sharing your perspective, asking the questions nobody else thought to ask, or pointing out what others might have overlooked. Over time, those small moments build confidence, credibility, and influence. Remember that your voice has value.